Chris, happy Monday. Thank you for joining me on a little bit of a conversation.
Glad to be here, John.
I'm with Chris Groutt. Chris is business owner, entrepreneur, trainer, helper of people. And so as I was looking at your background and we were talking a little bit, the specificness of what you do today, I'd like you to talk a little bit about that, because I think as specifically in a time of COVID and those things, you're helping a very targeted population right now and try to make their lives a little better. So tell us a little bit about what you've been doing.
Well, about 2 years ago, I decided to get back into kind of what I would call a helping service-based profession. You know, I had been a fitness trainer and competitive athlete for years prior to my professional career. Then for about 15 years as a dad, I started being breadwinner guy and running or assisting in the running of small businesses, mid-sized businesses, etc. Did about 15 years of that grind and really felt that I had learned a lot and I had earned a lot. It was all wonderful in many ways. But I wanted to get back into a profession where I could serve a little bit and I could help people and work directly with people. So I decided to get back into fitness, and I thought, well, gee, at the time, I guess I was 47. I thought, what am I going to do? Go fold towels at the gym and try to build up clientele again, with a bunch of 20-year-olds, But I kind of lucked out in a serendipitous way and was able to acquire a gym and a business here in Northern California a couple of years back. And so my kind of target, my niche, the folks I really work with tend to be over 60. I'd say the median age is closer to 70, and I have some clients in their 90s, and pre-COVID, they were all coming into the facility, primarily one-on-one training, some small group stuff at the time, fitness training, strength training, mobility training. It's a different crowd that they're not as concerned with, getting a six-pack abs type thing or the vanity type approach. They're more concerned with reducing pain, increasing mobility, the holy grail of good sleep, which, as we know with age, becomes so pleasurable and important, this kind of stuff. So it's slightly a different focus than when I was in fitness, when I was in my 20s and my clientele was, under 40. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, how have you pivoted your business? I mean, that the gym and exercise, I know mine was closed down for a while, and then it was hit and miss of whether do I go, do I not go? How have you pivoted and continued to work forward?
Yeah, no question that the COVID thing really, we took a hit like every small business did, and a lot of large businesses did, and specifically in this gym and fitness realm. Initially, what we did was pivot to Zoom trainings, like so many. I myself have now done over 1,000 Zoom trainings for clients. Wow. They should really call me and pick my brain, the folks at Zoom. And some folks are capable of that. I'd say about a third of my clients initially were okay with that. A third of my clientele said, I don't want to do the Zoom thing, and I'm sure not coming in, even when, until there's a vaccine or something. And now a third have come back now that we've been allowed to open back up. New safety and cleaning regulations and all the COVID protocols and all that stuff. But the real, I think, evolution has been the Zoom training thing and getting folks equipped with what they need to do that at their home, being able to establish a Zoom rapport, which is a different rapport than you have when somebody walks in the door. So even with folks you already know and you have an established relationship, there's a little, it takes a little time, a little getting used to reestablish that as a Zoom rapport, and how you communicate and what kind of gear they have and how to custom tailor, fitness and strength training and mobility training to their home, Certainly there was a dearth of fitness equipment available when COVID first hit, because everybody grabbed it up, even on Amazon, you couldn't find stuff. And you don't really need much. You need a floor. And you can, and some folks get this age bracket can't get up and down off the floor, so maybe you utilize a wall or various body weight things, resistance bands, etc. But there are ways to be adaptable. I think metaphorically for 2020, just like anything, it's about being nimble, being creative, being crafty, and making do with what you got. And sometimes you come out of it even better than you were. I have folks that are stronger now through the Zoom trainings and the trainings at home than they were coming into the actual facility and using the big fancy equipment.
Wow. So how's your clientele, what have you seen mentally, and just how people have continued to process this?
Yeah, I think it's been really challenging for a lot of these folks are retired, in this demographic. I'd say most of them, in fact, are. And so the need for routine and connection has been undermined by the various requirements good requirements in many ways. We still need to try to nip this thing in the bud or reduce the damage. But, we've taken a hit. I think people have emotionally and mentally, not feeling safe getting out. Getting out to some of these folks was the biggest part of their day, going on a couple of errands or getting over to the gym or something. So they've had to adapt. Having the Zoom trainings, though, again, once we build that rapport and get over that initial hurdle that it's not the same as sitting face to face with someone. Once you get over that and get, as everybody keeps saying, this new normal, this is one of the facets of this new normal, is getting used to finding connection through the computer screen and having that enrich your inner life, in a way that it really used to take face to face to do. And so I think, like anything, there's a learning curve, and there's a period where you have to just be patient and get used to it, and not throw the baby out with the bathwater and say, oh, to hell with this, I'm not connecting really with somebody. And you say, well, I'm going to try, And so I think that they've been adapting to that. And this connection through Zoom trainings is in some cases a highlight of their day, whether it's with someone like myself or a therapist or whoever they're seeing via Zoom. In some case, various forms of doctors and things that are doing it. Everybody's Zooming now. There's some version of it, but I think Zoom's got the lion's share.
As we finish up, and there's 100 questions I could ask, but as limited time, how are you looking at 2021? How are you preparing for it? What are some things that you're doing as a business owner to ramp up and get ready for the next year?
Yeah, I think everything now is done with the foresight that says the rug could get pulled out from under you. You've got to remain nimble. You've got to plan that what you thought was an absolute, like the ability to see a client in your space or in your gym, is not necessarily so. So what are really pandemic friendly ways to scale your business, to grow your business, in this case through something like a video platform, and in the case of the folks that are coming in, obviously protocols and things to keep them feeling safe and attracting new clients that will feel safe coming in person. But I think it's about maintaining, thinking of it as almost an amalgamation of various income revenue streams is much more important than it used to be. Saying how can I piece something together that feels safe, because things could get plucked from that source of revenue, as we saw when we had lockdowns, and certainly anticipating that because the lockdowns, to a degree, as damaging as they were in some ways economically, I think from a health perspective, they seem to have worked in the places that have done them properly. And so we know that once that knowledge is there, it could happen again. There's a surge of this pandemic, or some we haven't even heard of. There's zombies parachuting from Mars suddenly. Whatever's going to happen in the remainder of 2020, we've got to remain nimble and able to adapt. Yeah.
Great advice, Chris. Thanks so much. Thank you for coming on board and sharing some knowledge. I appreciate it.
My pleasure, John. Thanks so much for having me.
All right.